If you read history or you want to read history, well, I have the BookTube event for you. That is Historathon 2026. So Historathon is a year-long BookTube event hosted or created by Vin at Revenant Reads. And there's 4 other BookTube co-hosts, I think. And it is a year-long dedication to reading historical nonfiction books. Now, I'm going to read from a little bio of Historathon just so I cover all the bases. But this is a BookTube event that I've previously participated in slightly. They have a Discord server that I was in at some point last year. But this year for 2026, I am joining Historathon. I'm already in their Discord hanging out, but I'm joining at least for Q1. Sorry, there's a bug. At least for Q1. And in this year-long event, Historathon, the year is divided into 4 segments of 3 months each. So Q1, 2, 3, 4. And each segment focuses on a particular period of time in the world. So Q1, January to March, is everything from prehistory, however far back you want to go, up until 500 CE, 500 AD. Q2, April to June, is 500 to 1500. Then July to September, 1500 to 1820, and October to December, 1820 to the present. So there's no hard and fast rules, but those 4 time blocks are the encouraged time periods to read during that time, to have some shared interests and solidarity as you're going through the year. And it's nice to break up your themed reading. So you can participate however you want. You can join the Discord if you want to make videos about it. You can make videos about it, or just read the books. But I don't know if I'm committing to every single quarter. Currently, I have an interest in classical antiquity, because I realized that if I want to become a lay medieval scholar, I have to first understand the Western classical age, the Greeks and the Romans. To some extent, the Islamic world as well, but that's getting closer to, or like the Jewish biblical world as well, but mostly the Greeks and Romans are what I'm going to try to get read up on. So that works perfectly with Q1 of Historathon, January to March, prehistory to 500 CE. So I'm going to combine this announcement video by also telling you guys about what I plan to read and some of the books that I also could read during this first quarter of 2026. So, first up, we got this book I've already started. I started it a few days ago before I even remembered that Historathon was happening and before I joined. But it fits perfectly, so I'm going to count it for Historathon. We have Robin Lane Fox's The Classical World, an epic history from Homer to Hadrian. Now, this is, I don't know if it covers 1,000 years of history, but it covers almost 1,000 years. Homer, if he existed, was probably in the 8th century BC, and Hadrian, the Roman emperor, born in Spain, but he was a Roman, he was emperor of Rome in the early 2nd century CE, or AD. whatever you want to say. So I'm already 160 pages in. We just finished up the Peloponnesian War, and it's definitely hard to do a huge history like this. I know this is a long book, but each chapter of this book has dozens of books on that, whatever subject that is, in the field. And I'm appreciating what Robin Lane Fox is doing here. I don't really like his Athenian propaganda that he's spreading here. I am less high on the Athenians than Fox is, but that's okay. We're learning here, having a good time, getting some knowledge. So trying to synthesize my learning. So this book is being read, so it is planned. Next up, I wanted to pair this first history book with another book that's not. This isn't for Historathon, because Historathon has to be historical nonfiction. But this is the Odyssey by Mr. Homer himself in the Emily Wilson translation from 2017. Now, I've tried and failed to read the Iliad and the Odyssey multiple times. Fagles hasn't worked for me. Lattimore hasn't worked for me. Fitzgerald hasn't worked for me. Now, I haven't tried very hard on many of these attempts, other than the Fagles Iliad, which I got pretty far into it, but something wasn't right for me, so I keep putting these off. I've read a few lines of this Emily Wilson translation, and I think this might be the one that does it for me. So I'm excited for this, but I wanted to get some historical background first before going into this classic work. And also, I didn't plan this, right? There is a book that I will consult if necessary while reading the Odyssey, which is Mythology by Edith Hamilton. I read this in May. It was awesome. Hamilton, I don't know if it's classified as retelling, but she just translates or gives her own version of pretty much all the Greek myths. It's separated into categories, but there's a huge index in the back, so if there's somebody that I'm not really sure who Homer's talking about, at least mythologically, I can go to this. If I'm not sure who like Ajax the Younger is, I'll have to go elsewhere for that. But just wanted to shout out Edith Hamilton. And yeah, so this is definitely happening in the next week or two once I finish the Robin Lane Fox book. Then the future holds another ancient primary source, and that would be the 5th century BC father of history. We have the landmark Herodotus, or Herodotus's Histories, which, to my understanding, mainly cover the Greco-Persian Wars of the early 5th century. I believe the Persian invasion was between 490 BC and 479 is when the fighting ceased officially. There were some breaks. But this is the landmark edition, translated by Andrea L. Purvis and edited by Robert B. Strassler. And you'll notice this is a wide book. That's because the landmark editions are huge and annotated. So here, this is the text, and there's maps strewn about the book. There are notes, there are footnotes at the bottom. That's just one map. Yeah, here's a page without a map, just a lot of notes and references, and then more map. It seems like a awesome tool for a reader. I also have, I picked this one up a while ago. This is Herodotus's Histories, translated by Robin Waterfield, published by Oxford. But this is just straight up text. And well, I think this would also be good. I think as a beginner to Greek history, or mostly a beginner, having something to handhold me a little more, like the landmark, would be awesome. So that is my other planned read for Historathon 2026, Q1. Outside of that, I don't really have any other plans. I don't really like to make TBRs. I like to see where my interests take me. I have a few other books that I think I might pop over to regarding Q1, and one of those would be another Edith Hamilton book. We have The Greek Way. Now, as far as I know, the Greek way, and she also has the Roman way. The Roman way, the Greek way and the Roman way. And I believe these two books are just Edith Hamilton talking about authors and poets and such of the Greek times and the Roman times. I haven't read these. I don't know if that's actually what's going on. But yeah, it's talking about the writers of the time. Pindar, Plato, Aristophanes, Herodotus, Thucydides, Xenophon, Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, and then some other more broad chapters too. Now, I'm interested in the Roman way as well, but the Greeks come earlier in terms of their ascendance. So I'm going through Greek stuff before Roman stuff. So that's why this one's on here. And we'll round out the pile of possibilities with 3 more books, which I likely won't get to, but we can talk about some more books. First, we have Carthage Must Be Destroyed, The Rise and Fall of an Ancient Civilization by Richard Miles. This is, I think it's a 1-volume history of Carthage, the civilization in what is modern-day Tunisia. But at their height, they were, well, in their time, they were a Phoenician settlement that eventually became a rival of Greece, Sicilian Greece, and then later Rome, when Rome was becoming a powerhouse in the Mediterranean. They battled with Carthage in the Punic Wars. Now, I know very little about Carthage, so I picked up this book at Goodwill. I don't think I'll read it this year, but it is within the time period. And then next, we have 2 books I picked up recently on the Hellenistic age, Hellenistic Greece. And Hellenistic Greece is the time period after the death of Alexander the Great, up until basically the Roman Empire starts, or the Augustus or Octavian defeats Mark Antony, kind of that time in the I forget the year, close to 1st century BC sometime. But I have From Alexander to Cleopatra, The Hellenistic World by Michael Grant, which is not so long. It's only 300 pages, which is nice. Then we have a huge mammoth, which I am so excited to have. I've heard a lot of great things about Peter Green. This is Alexander to Actium The Historical Evolution of the Hellenistic Age. Absolutely massive hardcover from University of California Press. It is part of it's part of a series, Hellenistic Culture and Society. This is the first volume. Other volumes, Hellenism in the East, the question of eclecticism, Antigonos the One-Eyed and the Creation of the Hellenistic State, History of Macedonia, and Attic Letter Cutters of 229 to 86 BC. Whatever. But I've heard Peter Green's a great historian of the Greek world. And I know he has a book, The Greco-Persian Wars, which I would really love to have to supplement the Herodotus knowledge. But this seems like an awesome book. It is 970 pages, and it's wider than a standard hardcover too. So this thing's huge. But yeah, I probably won't read these since I'm not terribly interested in the Hellenistic age yet. I think I have to work up to that. But yeah, so that's that. Those are some of the books that I will read or could possibly read in Q1 of Historathon. Join the Discord or try to find some historical reads if you are interested in this event, this BookTube event. And yeah, everybody have a happy new year. I definitely won't be uploading this at midnight on New Year's Eve, so this video will be in 2026. So, yeah, thanks for watching.